سورة يوسف.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful.
ألف لام را تلك آيات الكتاب المبين.
Alif Lam Ra. These are the verses of the clear book.
إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون.
Verily, we have sent it down as an Arabic Qur'an in order that you may understand.
نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين.
We relate unto you the best of stories through our revelations unto you of this Qur'an. And before this you were among those who knew nothing about it.
إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين.
Remember when Yusuf said to his father, O my father, verily I saw in a dream 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating themselves to me.
قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين.
The father said, O my son, relate not your vision to your brothers, lest they should arrange a plot against you. Verily, Shaitan is to man an open enemy.
وكذلك يجتبيك ربك ويعلمك من تأويل الأحاديث ويتم نعمته عليك وعلى آل يعقوب كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق إن ربك عليم حكيم.
Thus will your Lord choose you and teach you the interpretation of dreams, and perfect His favor on you and on the offspring of Yaqub, as He perfected it on your fathers Ibrahim and Ishaq aforetime. Verily your Lord is all-knowing, all-wise.
لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين.
Verily, in Yusuf and his brethren there were proofs and lessons for those who ask.
إذ قالوا ليوسف وأخوه أحب إلى أبينا منا ونحن عصبة إن أبانا لفي ضلال مبين.
When they said, truly, Yusuf and his brother are dearer to our father than we, while we are a strong group. Really, our father is in plain error.
اقتلوا يوسف أو اطرحوه أرضا يخل لكم وجه أبيكم وتكونوا من بعده قوما صالحين.
Kill Yusuf or cast him out to some other land, so that the favor of your father may be given to you alone. And after that you will be righteous folk.
قال قائل منهم لا تقتلوا يوسف وألقوه في غيابة الجب يلتقطه بعض السيارة إن كنتم فاعلين.
One from among them said, "Kill not Yusuf, but if you must do something, throw him down to the bottom of a well. He will be picked up by some caravan of travelers."
قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون.
They said, "O our father, why do you not trust us with Yusuf, though we are indeed his well-wishers?
أرسله معنا غدا يرتع ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون.
Send him with us tomorrow to enjoy himself and play, and verily we will take care of him."
قال إني ليحزنني أن تذهبوا به وأخاف أن يأكله الذئب وأنتم عنه غافلون.
He said, "Truly it saddens me that you should take him away. I fear lest a wolf should devour him while you are careless of him."
قالوا لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة إنا إذا لخاسرون.
They said, "If a wolf devours him while we are a strong group to guard him, then surely we are the losers."
فلما ذهبوا به وأجمعوا أن يجعلوه في غيابة الجب وأوحينا إليه لتنبئنهم بأمرهم هذا وهم لا يشعرون.
So when they took him away, they all agreed to throw him down to the bottom of the well. And we revealed to him, "Indeed, you shall one day inform them of this affair when they know you not."
وجاءوا أباهم عشاء يبكون.
And they came to their father in the early part of the night weeping.
قالوا يا أبانا إنا ذهبنا نستبق وتركنا يوسف عند متاعنا فأكله الذئب وما أنت بمؤمن لنا ولو كنا صادقين.
They said, "O our father, we went racing with one another and left Yusuf by our belongings, and a wolf devoured him. But you will never believe us even when we speak the truth."
وجاءوا على قميصه بدم كذب قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل والله المستعان على ما تصفون.
And they brought his shirt stained with false blood. He said, "Nay, but your own selves have made up a tale. So for me patience is most fitting. And it is Allah alone whose help can be sought against that lie which you describe."
وجاءت سيارة فأرسلوا واردهم فأدلى دلوه قال يا بشرى هذا غلام وأسروه بضاعة والله عليم بما يعملون.
And there came a caravan of travelers, and they sent their water drawer, and he let down his bucket into the well. He said, "What a good news! Here is a boy." So they hid him as merchandise, and Allah was the all-knower of what they did.
وشروه بثمن بخس دراهم معدودة وكانوا فيه من الزاهدين.
And they sold him for a low price, for a few dirhams, and they were of those who regarded him insignificant.
وقال الذي اشتراه من مصر لامرأته أكرمي مثواه عسى أن ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض ولنعلمه من تأويل الأحاديث والله غالب على أمره ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون.
And the man from Egypt who bought him said to his wife, "Make his stay comfortable. Maybe he will profit us, or we shall adopt him as a son." Thus did we establish Yusuf in the land that we might teach him the interpretation of events. And Allah has full power and control over his affairs, but most of men know not.
وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ.
And when he attained his full manhood, we gave him wisdom and knowledge. Thus we reward the good doers.
وراودته التي هو في بيتها عن نفسه وغلقت الأبواب وقالت هيت لك قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا يفلح الظالمون.
And she in whose house he was sought to seduce him, and she closed the doors and said, "Come on, O you." He said, "I seek refuge in Allah. Truly your husband is my master. He made my living in a great comfort, so I will never betray him. Verily, the wrongdoers will never be successful."
وَلَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ وَهَمَّ بِهَا لَوْلَا أَن رَّأَىٰ بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ كَذَلِكَ لِنَصْرِفَ عَنْهُ السُّوءَ وَالْفَحْشَاءَ إِنَّهُ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا الْمُخْلَصِينَ.
And indeed she did desire him, and he would have inclined to her desire had he not seen the evidence of his Lord. Thus it was that we might turn away from him evil and illegal sexual intercourse. Surely he was one of our chosen slaves.
واستبق الباب وقدت قميصه من دبر وألف يا سيدها لدى الباب قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك سوءا إلا أن يسجن أو عذاب أليم.
So they raced with one another to the door, and she tore his shirt from the back. They both found her Lord at the door. She said, "What is the recompense for him who intended an evil design against your wife, except that he be put in prison or a painful torment?"
قال هي راودتني عن نفسي وشهد شاهد من أهلها إن كان قميصه قد من قبل فصدقت وهو من الكاذبين.
He said, "It was she that sought to seduce me." And a witness of her household bore witness, saying, "If it be that his shirt is torn from the front, then her tale is true and he is a liar."
وَإِن كَانَ قَمِيصُهُ قُدَّ مِن دُبُرٍ فَكَذَبَتْ وَهُوَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ.
But if it be that his shirt is torn from the back, then she has told a lie and he is speaking the truth.
فَلَمَّا رَأَى قَمِيصَهُ قُدَّ مِن دُبُرٍ قَالَ إِنَّهُ مِن كَيْدِكُنَّ إِنَّ كَيْدَكُنَّ عَظِيمٌ.
So when he saw his shirt torn at the back, he said, "Surely it is a plot of you women. Certainly mighty is your plot."
يوسف أعرض عن هذا واستغفري لذنبك إنك كنت من الخاطئين.
O Yusuf, turn away from this. O woman, ask forgiveness for your sin. Verily you were of the sinful.
وقال نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه قد شغفها حبا إنا لنراها في ضلال مبين.
And women in the city said, "The wife of Al-Aziz is seeking to seduce her young slave. Indeed, she loves him violently. Verily, we see her in plain error."
فلما سمعت بمكرهن أرسلت إليهن وأعتدت لهن متكأ وآتت كل واحدة منهن سكينا وقالت اخرج عليهن. فلما رأينه أكبرنه وقطعن أيديهن وقلن حاش لله ما هذا بشرا إن هذا إلا ملك كريم.
So when she heard of their accusations, she sent for them and prepared a banquet for them. She gave each one of them a knife to cut the food with. And she said to Yusuf, "Come out before them." Then when they saw him, they exalted him at his beauty and in their astonishment cut their hands. They said, "How perfect is Allah! No man is this. This is none other than a noble angel."
قالت فذلكن الذي لمتنني فيه ولقد راودته عن نفسه فاستعصم ولئن لم يفعل ما آمره ليسجنن وليكون من الصاغرين.
She said, "This is he about whom you did blame me. And I did seek to seduce him, but he refused. And now if he refuses to obey my order, he shall certainly be cast into prison and will be one of those who are disgraced."
قال رب السجن أحب إلي مما يدعونني إليه وإلا تصرف عني كيدهن أصب إليهن وأكن من الجاهلين.
He said, "O my Lord, prison is dearer to me than that which they invite me. Unless you turn away their plot from me, I will feel inclined towards them and be one of the ignorant."
فاستجاب له ربه فصرف عنه كيدهن إنه هو السميع العليم.
So his Lord answered his invocation and turned away from him their plot. Verily he is the all-hearer, the all-knower.
ثم بدا لهم من بعد ما رأوا الآيات ليسجننه حتى حين.
Then it occurred to them after they had seen the proofs of his innocence to imprison him for a time.
ودخل معه السجن فتيان قال أحدهما إني أراني أعصر خمرا وقال الآخر إني أراني أحمل فوق رأسي خبزا تأكل الطير منه نبئنا بتأويله إنا نراك من المحسنين.
And there entered with him 2 young men in the prison. One of them said, Verily, I saw myself in a dream pressing wine. The other said, Verily, I saw myself in a dream carrying bread on my head and birds were eating thereof. They said, Inform us of the interpretation of this. Verily, we think you are one of the good doers.
قال لا يأتيكما طعام ترزقانه إلا نبأتكما بتأويله قبل أن يأتيكما ذلكما مما علمني ربي إني تركت ملة قوم لا يؤمنون بالله وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون.
He said, No food will come to you as your provision, but I will inform its interpretation before it comes. This is of that which my Lord has taught me. Verily, I have abandoned the religion of a people that believe not in Allah and are disbelievers in the hereafter.
واتبعت ملة آبائي إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب ما كان لنا أن نشرك بالله من شيء ذلك من فضل الله علينا وعلى الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشكرون.
And I have followed the religion of my fathers Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub. And never could we attribute any partners whatsoever to Allah. This is from the grace of Allah to us and to mankind. But most men thank not.
يا صاحبي السجن أأرباب متفرقون خير أم الله الواحد القهار.
O 2 companions of the prison, are many different lords better than Allah, the one, the irresistible?
ما تعبدون من دونه إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن الحكم إلا لله أمر ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه ذلك الدين القيم ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون.
You do not worship besides him but only names which you have named, you and your fathers, for which Allah has sent down no authority. The command is for none but Allah. He has commanded that you worship none but him. That is the straight religion, but most men know not.
يا صاحبي السجن أما أحدكما فيسقي ربه خمرا وأما الآخر فيصلب فتأكل الطير من رأسه قضي الأمر الذي فيه تستفتيان.
O two companions of the prison, as for one of you, he as a servant will pour out wine for his Lord to drink. And as for the other, he will be crucified and birds will eat from his head. Thus is the case judged concerning which you both did inquire.
وقال للذي ظن أنه ناج منهما اذكرني عند ربك فأنساه الشيطان ذكر ربه فلبث في السجن بضع سنين.
And he said to the one whom he knew to be saved, mention me to your Lord. But Shaitan made him forget to mention it to his Lord. So Yusuf stayed in prison a few more years.
وقال الملك إني أرى 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن سبع عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في رؤياي إن كنتم للرؤيا تعبرون.
And the king of Egypt said, Verily, I saw in a dream 7 fat cows, whom 7 lean ones were devouring, and 7 green ears of corn, and 7 others dry. O notables, explain to me my dream, if it be that you can interpret dreams.
قالوا أضغاث أحلام وما نحن بتأويل الأحلام بعالمين.
They said, mixed up false dreams, and we are not skilled in the interpretation of dreams.
وقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون.
Then the man who was released now at length remembered and said, I will tell you its interpretation, so send me forth.
يوسف أيها الصديق أفتنا في 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون.
He said, O Yusuf, the man of truth, explain to us the dream of 7 fat cows whom 7 lean ones were devouring, and of 7 green ears of corn and 7 others dry, that I may return to the people and that they may know.
قال تزرعون 7 سنين دأبا فما حصدتم فذروه في سنبله إلا قليلا مما تأكلون.
Yusuf said, For 7 consecutive years you shall sow as usual, and that the harvest which you reap you shall leave it in the ears, all except a little of it which you may eat.
ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك 7 شداد يأكلن ما قدمتم لهن إلا قليلا مما تحصنون.
Then will come after that 7 hard years which will devour what you have laid by in advance for them, all except a little of that which you have guarded.
ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك عام فيه يغاث الناس وفيه يعصرون.
Then thereafter will come a year in which people will have abundant rain, and in which they will press wine and oil.
وقال الملك ائتوني به فلما جاءه الرسول قال ارجع إلى ربك فاسأله ما بال النسوة اللاتي قطعن أيديهن إن ربي بكيدهن عليم.
And the king said, bring him to me. But when the messenger came to him, Yusuf said, return to your Lord and ask him what happened to the women who cut their hands. Surely my Lord is well aware of their plot.
قال ما خطبكن إذ راوتن يوسف عن نفسه قلنا حاش لله ما علمنا عليه من سوء. قالت امرأة العزيز الآن حصحص الحق أنا راودته عن نفسه وإنه لمن الصادقين.
The king said to the women, what was your affair when you did seek to seduce Yusuf? The women said, Allah forbid, no evil know we against him. The wife of Al-Aziz said, now the truth is manifest to all. It was I who sought to seduce him, and he is surely of the truthful.
ذلك ليعلم أني لم أخنه بالغيب وأن الله لا يهدي كيد الخائنين.
Then Yusuf said, I asked for this inquiry in order that he may know that I betrayed him not in his absence. And verily Allah guides not the plot of the betrayers.
وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي إِنَّ رَبِّي غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ.
And I free not myself from the blame. Verily, the human self is inclined to evil, except when my Lord bestows His mercy upon whom He wills. Verily, my Lord is oft forgiving, most merciful.
وقال الملك ائتوني به أستخلصه لنفسي فلما كلمه قال إنك اليوم لدينا مكين أمين.
And the king said, bring him to me that I may attach him to my person. Then, when he spoke to him, he said, verily, this day you are with us high in rank and fully trusted.
قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم.
Yusuf said, set me over the storehouses of the land. I will indeed guard them with full knowledge.
وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض يتبوأ منها حيث يشاء نصيب برحمتنا من نشاء ولا نضيع أجر المحسنين.
Thus did we give full authority to Yusuf in the land to take possession therein, when or where he likes. We bestow our mercy on whom we will, and we make not to be lost the reward of the good doers.
وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ.
And verily, the reward of the hereafter is better for those who believe and used to fear Allah and keep their duty to Him.
وجاء إخوة يوسف فدخلوا عليه فعرفهم وهم له منكرون.
And Yusuf's brethren came and they entered unto him, and he recognized them, but they recognized him not.
ولما جهزهم بجهازهم قال ائتوني بأخ لكم من أبيكم ألا ترون أني أوفي الكيل وأنا خير المنزلين.
And when he had furnished with them their provisions, he said, Bring me a brother of yours from your father. See you not that I give full measure and that I am the best of hosts?
فإن لم تأتوني به فلا كيل لكم عندي ولا تقربون.
But if you bring him not to me, there shall be no measure of corn for you with me, nor shall you come near me.
قالوا سنراود عنه أباه وإنا لفاعلون.
They said, We shall try to get permission for him from his father, and verily we shall do it.
وقال لفتيانه جعلوا بضاعتهم في رحالهم لعلهم يعرفونها إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم لعلهم يرجعون.
And Yusuf told his servants to put their money with which they had bought the corn into their bags, so that they might know it when they go back to their people, in order that they may come again.
فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم قالوا يا أبانا منع منا الكيل فأرسل معنا أخانا نكتل وإنا له لحافظون.
So when they returned to their father, they said, O our father, no more measure of grain shall we get unless we take our brother. So send our brother with us, and we shall get our measure, and truly we will guard him.
قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين.
He said, Can I entrust him to you as I entrusted his brother to you aforetime? But Allah is the best to guard, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy.
ولما فتحوا متاعهم وجدوا بضاعتهم ردت إليهم قالوا يا أبانا ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا ونمير أهلنا ونحفظ أخانا ونزداد كيل بعير ذلك كيل يسير.
And when they opened their bags, they found their money had been returned to them. They said, "O our father, what more can we desire? This, our money has been returned to us. So we shall get more food for our family, and we shall guard our brother, and add one more measure of a camel's load. This quantity is easy for the king to give."
قال لن أرسله معكم حتى تؤتون موثقا من الله لتأتونني به إلا أن يحاط بكم. فلما آتوه موثقهم قال الله على ما نقول وكيل.
He said, "I will not send him with you until you swear a solemn oath to me in Allah's name, that you will bring him back to me unless you yourselves are surrounded by enemies." And when they had sworn their solemn oath, he said, "Allah is the witness to what we have said."
وقال يا بني لا تدخلوا من باب واحد وادخلوا من أبواب متفرقة وما أغني عنكم من الله من شيء إن الحكم إلا لله عليه توكلت وعليه فليتوكل المتوكلون.
And he said, "O my sons, do not enter by one gate, but enter by different gates, and I cannot avail you against Allah at all. Verily the decision rests only with Allah. In Him I put my trust, and let all those that trust put their trust in Him."
ولما دخلوا من حيث أمرهم أبوهم ما كان يغني عنهم من الله من شيء إلا حاجة في نفس يعقوب قضاها وإنه لذو علم لما علمناه ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون.
And when they entered according to their father's advice, it did not avail them in the least against the will of Allah. It was but a need of Yaqub's inner self which he discharged. And verily he was endowed with knowledge because we had taught him, but most men know not.
ولما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أخاه قال إني أنا أخوك فلا تبتئس بما كانوا يعملون.
And when they went in before Yusuf, he took his brother to himself and said, "Verily, I am your brother, so grieve not for what they used to do."
فلما جهزهم بجهازهم جعل السقاية في رحل أخيه ثم أذن مؤذن أيتها العير إنكم لسارقون.
So when he had furnished them forth with their provisions, he put the golden bowl in his brother's bag. Then a crier cried, "O you in the caravan, surely you are thieves."
قالوا وأقبلوا عليهم ماذا تفقدون.
They, turning towards them, said, "What is it that you have lost?"
قالوا نفقد صواع الملك ولمن جاء به حمل بعير وأنا به زعيم.
They said, we have lost the golden bowl of the king, and for him who produces it is the reward of a camel load, and I will be bound by it.
قالوا تالله لقد علمتم ما جئنا لنفسد في الأرض وما كنا سارقين.
They said, by Allah, indeed you know that we came not to make mischief in the land, and we are no thieves.
قالوا فما جزاؤه إن كنتم كاذبين.
They said, what then shall be the penalty of him if you are proved to be liars?
قالوا جزاؤه من وجد في رحله فهو جزاؤه كذلك نجزي الظالمين.
They said, his penalty shall be that he in whose bag it is found should be held for the punishment of the crime. Thus we punish the wrongdoers.
فبدأ بأوعيتهم قبل وعاء أخيه ثم استخرجها من وعاء أخيه كذلك كدنا ليوسف ما كان ليأخذ أخاه في دين الملك إلا أن يشاء الله نرفع درجات من نشاء وفوق كل ذي علم عليم.
So he began the search in their bags before the bag of his brother. Then he brought it out of his brother's bag. Thus did we plan for Yusuf. He could not take his brother by the law of the king, except that Allah willed it. We raise to degrees whom we will, but over all those endowed with knowledge is the all-knowing.
قالوا إن يسرق فقد سرق أخ له من قبل فأسرها يوسف في نفسه ولم يبدها لهم قال أنتم شر مكانا والله أعلم بما تصفون.
They said, if he steals, there was a brother of his who did steal before him. But these things did Yusuf keep in himself, revealing not the secrets to them. He said, you are in worst case, and Allah is the best knower of that which you describe.
قالوا يا أيها العزيز إن له أبا شيخا كبيرا فخذ أحدنا مكانه إنا نراك من المحسنين.
They said, O ruler of the land, verily he has an old father who will grieve for him. So take one of us in his place. Indeed, we think that you are one of the good doers.
قال معاذ الله أن نأخذ إلا من وجدنا متاعنا عنده إنا إذا لظالمون.
He said, Allah forbid that we should take anyone but him with whom we found our property. Indeed, if we did so, we should be wrongdoers.
فلما استيئسوا منه خلصوا نجيا قال كبيرهم ألم تعلموا أن أباكم قد أخذ عليكم موثقا من الله ومن قبل ما فرطتم في يوسف فلن أبرح الأرض حتى يأذن لي أبي أو يحكم الله لي وهو خير الحاكمين.
So when they despaired of him, they held a conference in private. The eldest among them said, Know you not that your father did take an oath from you in Allah's name? And before this you did fail in your duty with Yusuf. Therefore, I will not leave this land until my father permits me, or Allah decides my case, and He is the best of the judges.
ارجعوا إلى أبيكم فقولوا يا أبانا إن ابنك سرق وما شهدنا إلا بما علمنا وما كنا للغيب حافظين.
Return to your father and say, O our father, verily your son has stolen, and we testify not except according to what we know, and we could not know the unseen.
واسأل القرية التي كنا فيها والعير التي أقبلنا فيها وإنا لصادقون.
And ask the people of the town where we have been, and the caravan in which we returned, and indeed we are telling the truth.
قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل عسى الله أن يأتيني بهم جميعا إنه هو العليم الحكيم.
Yaqub said, Nay, but your own selves have beguiled you into something. So patience is most fitting for me. Maybe Allah will bring them all back to me. Truly He, only He is all-knowing, all-wise.
وتولى عنهم وقال يا أسفا على يوسف وابيضت عيناه من الحزن فهو كظيم.
And he turned away from them and said, Alas, my grief for Yusuf. And he lost his sight because of the sorrow that he was suppressing.
قالوا تالله تفتأ تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين.
They said, By Allah, you will never cease remembering Yusuf until you become weak with old age or until you be of the dead.
قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون.
He said, I only complain of my grief and sorrow to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you know not.
يا بني اذهبوا فتحسسوا من يوسف وأخيه ولا تيأسوا من روح الله إنه لا ييأس من روح الله إلا القوم الكافرون.
O my sons, go you and inquire about Yusuf and his brother, and never give up hope of Allah's mercy. Certainly no one despairs of Allah's mercy except the people who disbelieve.
فلما دخلوا عليه قالوا يا أيها العزيز مسنا وأهلنا الضر وجئنا ببضاعة مزجاة فأوف لنا الكيل وتصدق علينا إن الله يجزي المتصدقين.
Then when they entered unto him, they said, O ruler of the land, a hard time has hit us and our family, and we have brought but poor capital, so pay us full measure and be charitable to us. Truly Allah does reward the charitable.
قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه إذ أنتم جاهلون.
He said, do you know what you did with Yusuf and his brother when you were ignorant?
قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي قد من الله علينا إنه من يتق ويصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين.
They said, are you indeed Yusuf? He said, I am Yusuf and this is my brother. Allah has indeed been gracious to us. Verily, he who fears Allah with obedience to Him and is patient, then surely Allah makes not the reward of the good doers to be lost.
قالوا تالله لقد آثرك الله علينا وإن كنا لخاطئين.
They said, by Allah, indeed Allah has preferred you above us and we certainly have been sinners.
قال لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين.
He said, no reproach on you this day. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy.
اذهبوا بقميصي هذا فألقوه على وجه أبي يأت بصيرا وأتوني بأهلكم أجمعين.
Go with this shirt of mine and cast it over the face of my father. He will become clear-sighted and bring to me all of your family.
ولما فصلت العير قال أبوهم إني لأجد ريح يوسف لولا أن تفندون.
And when the caravan departed, their father said, I do indeed feel the smell of Yusuf, if only you think me not a dotard.
قالوا تالله إنك لفي ضلالك القديم.
They said, by Allah, certainly you are in your old error.
فلما أن جاء البشير ألقاه على وجهه فارتد بصيرا قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون.
Then when the bearer of the glad tidings arrived, he cast the shirt over his face and he became clear-sighted. He said, did I not say to you, I know from Allah that which you know not?
قالوا يا أبانا استغفر لنا ذنوبنا إنا كنا خاطئين.
They said, O our Father, ask forgiveness from Allah for our sins. Indeed, we have been sinners.
قال سوف أستغفر لكم ربي إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
He said, I will ask my Lord for forgiveness for you. Verily He, only He is the oft forgiving, the most merciful.
فلما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أبويه وقال ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين.
Then, when they came in before Yusuf, he took his parents to himself and said, enter Egypt if Allah wills in security.
ورفع أبويه على العرش وخروا له سجدا وقال يا أبت هذا تأويل رؤياي من قبل قد جعلها ربي حقا وقد أحسن بي إذ أخرجني من السجن وجاء بكم من البدو من بعد أن نزغ الشيطان بيني وبين إخوتي إن ربي لطيف لما يشاء إنه هو العليم الحكيم.
And he raised his parents to the throne, and they fell down before him prostrate. And he said, O my father, this is the interpretation of my dream aforetime. My Lord has made it come true. He has indeed been good to me when he took me out of the prison and brought you all here out of the Bedouin life after Shaitan had sown enmity between me and my brothers. Certainly my Lord is the most courteous and kind unto whom He wills. Truly He, only He is the all-knowing, the all-wise.
رب قد آتيتني من الملك وعلمتني من تأويل الأحاديث فاطر السماوات والأرض أنت وليي في الدنيا والآخرة توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين.
My Lord, You have indeed bestowed on me of the sovereignty and taught me something of the interpretation of dreams. The only creator of the heavens and the earth, You are my protector and guardian in this world and in the hereafter. Cause me to die as a Muslim and join me with the righteous.
ذلك من أنباء الغيب نوحيه إليك وما كنت لديهم إذ أجمعوا أمرهم وهم يمكرون.
This is the news of the unseen which we revealed to you. You were not present with them when they arranged their plan together and while they were plotting.
وما أكثر الناس ولو حرصت بمؤمنين.
And most of mankind will not believe even if you desire it eagerly.
وما تسألهم عليه من أجر إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين.
And no reward you ask of them for it. It is no less than a reminder and an advice unto the men and jinn.
وكأي من آية في السماوات والأرض يمرون عليها وهم عنها معرضون.
And how many a sign in the heavens and the earth they pass by, while they are averse therefrom.
وما يؤمن أكثرهم بالله إلا وهم مشركون.
And most of them believe not in Allah except that they attribute partners unto Him.
أفأمنوا أن تأتيهم غاشية من عذاب الله أو تأتيهم الساعة بغتة وهم لا يشعرون.
Do they then feel secure from the coming against them of the covering veil of the torment of Allah, or of the coming against them of the final hour, all of a sudden while they perceive not?
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
Say, this is my way. I invite unto Allah with sure knowledge. I and whosoever follows me must invite to Allah. And glorified and exalted is Allah above all that they associate as partners with Him. And I am not of the polytheists.
وما أرسلنا من قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم من أهل القرى أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فينظروا كيف كان عاقبة الذين من قبلهم ولدار الآخرة خير للذين اتقوا أفلا تعقلون.
And we sent not before you as messengers any but men unto whom we revealed from among the people of townships. Have they not traveled in the land and seen what was the end of those who were before them? And verily the home of the hereafter is the best for those who fear Allah and obey Him. Do you not then understand?
حتى إذا استيأس الرسل وظنوا أنهم قد كذبوا جاءهم نصرنا فنجي من نشاء ولا يرد بأسنا عن القوم المجرمين.
They were reprieved until when the messengers gave up hope and thought that they were denied by their people. Then came to them our help, and whomsoever we willed were rescued. And our punishment cannot be warded off from the people who are criminals.
لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب ما كان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون.
Indeed, in their stories there is a lesson for men of understanding. It is not a forged statement, but a confirmation of that which was before it, and a detailed explanation of everything, and a guide and a mercy for the people who believe.